let's just give it one more go here. Nice open road. What a car this is, honestly. Just phenomenal. And I'm sure the smile on my face says it all. Hi, welcome to Invictus Motors. We've got Mr. Benjamin Griffin. He's from Peterborough. He's just bought this Audi RS3. And why the Audi RS3?
It's been an affordable dream car for me ever since they came out, to be honest. Ever since I first heard about the RS3, I've always wanted one. And yeah, now especially after having the S3, it's made me want the RS3 even more. So yeah, nice. It's just something car I've always wanted.
Let's just walk down to the S3. Yeah. Because this S3 is...
This S3 is a very special car.
I mean, just tell us everything about this.
It's a 2016 66 plate facelift. S3, sorry, so it's got the 7-speed automatic gearbox, 2-litre turbo, 4-wheel drive. Standard, they're about 300 horsepower, just slightly over. This is far from standard. It's had a lot of money spent on it in modifications. It's had roughly about £10,000 spent on it in modifications. It's got a Littco L500 turbo, high pressure fuel pump, low pressure fuel pump upgrades. It's got a Wagner intercooler. It's got a Racing Line R600 intake on it. It needs a clean, it's a bit dusty, but yeah. It's got a Revo Alcon big brake kit on it, the MQ big brake kit on it. AEM methanol injection with a tank in the boot. Rear strut brace to obviously stiffen the rear of the car up. RS3 front grille. That isn't the standard S3 grille, that's an RS3 front grille. It's lowered on H&R springs, so it's got the standard dampers but lowered on H&R springs with, I think it's 15mm H&R wheel spacers to give it that, you know, a nice stance, which I think it's lowered just perfect. You wouldn't want it no lower than that. It's just perfect. It handles really well, and yeah, it's very quick. It does.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to driving it.
You will.
And I think we were looking at the. It's had a stage 2 remap, isn't it?
Stage 3 it is.
Stage 3.
Yeah, because it's got a turbo change. You see, so stage 2 is up to the standard turbo. So you have obviously a stage 1 remap. Then stage 2 is a remap, but it's hardware bolt-ons as well. So they change certain parts like the exhaust parts and intake, and then they can map it to stage 2. But this has had a hybrid turbo fitted, so it's by Littco, which is part of Devil Developments. So it's a Littco 500 turbo. If you go on like YouTube and type in officially gassed, you'll see his Golf R, and he had a Littco L500 put on his Golf R. It's exactly the same turbo. It will make, they're good for 500 horsepower. So it made about 505 horsepower, but then because it's got the methanol kit on it, which if you don't know about methanol, it reduces your intake temperatures. So it will be, I don't know the percentage, it's like 50% cooler intake temperatures, so it will be running a lot cooler than if you didn't have it. So basically the engine's running lovely and cool, even though it's producing more power, and that ups the power to like 535 brake horsepower and about 620 newton meters of torque. So yeah, it's producing a lot of power, but it was tuned by MRC, so the guys at MRC, they cap all the torques to preserve the engine and the gearbox, so it's running completely safe. So
this is just,
yeah,
I mean, my mind is about to crash.
Yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah,
very quick, but like I said, it's mechanically safe.
Yeah,
and it isn't straining any part of the engine or gearbox.
I mean, what is it like? I mean, you're only 5 years older than me. I'm 30, you're 35. What is it like insuring one of these?
Well, yeah, it's I suppose if you're, I'll say under 25, it's going to be quite high. So, but for me, I'm 35 years old. I'll pay £300 for a year to insure this, which is quite good. I've got like 13, 14 years no claims though, so that obviously helps.
And in terms of all the upgrades, all the modification, do you guys normally disclose that to the insurance company, or how does that normally work?
Yeah, you have to declare all the modifications.
Does that affect, did it affect your insurance policy?
No, not at all, no.
Okay.
It goes up slightly, but not much at all, no. No, obviously, again, it depends on your age and everything else, and what type of driver you are, and what area you live in, because obviously the modifications make it more desirable.
Yeah.
So
it does highly more, I mean, a lot more desirable. I mean, could we talk about the back of it? Because I think the back of it look absolutely stunning.
Oh, I forgot, it has a, I'm not sure how to pronounce it fully, but I'm sure it's a Reiger or Reiger rear diffuser. So it makes the car look a lot more aggressive from the rear.
So this, as you said, this is the Milltek.
Yeah, it's the full Milltek exhaust system, resonated. Oh, sorry, I should be over here, shouldn't I? It's a resonated, full Milltek resonated system with the black tips, which I think look better than the chrome tips on a black car. It's resonated and valved, so it's got all different modes on the car. So if you put it in like comfort, it closes the valves and makes the car drive like a completely standard S3. You can't even hardly hear it. But if you click it in dynamic and open the valves, it unleashes the sound of the car, sort of thing. So it makes it quite, I wouldn't say it's loud because it's still resonated. If you take, a lot of people take the resonators off, then that makes them quite loud and antisocial. But this has still got the resonator on, so it's still okay, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we did have an RS3 previously on a 15 plate that I told you about earlier. Yeah. And that had the resonators removed.
And it makes them very loud. Yeah, this is even in dynamic, obviously with the valves open, it's very nice sound, and it's not too loud, and it just gives you that nice sound. So yeah,
I mean, just the whole layout, the whole setting of
very aggressive, isn't it? Very aggressive looking.
Phenomenal.
I like to say that it goes well with the black diffuser, with the aftermarket diffuser, with the exhaust. It does look, it gives it a nice, nice look from the rear.
I mean, initially, when I saw this, you know, I know we spoke a couple of days ago. I didn't know this was in, you know, an S3. I was like, how can this be an S3? Looking at the back of it, looking at the front of it, and then as you've explained it,
it's got RS3 features to it, so it looks like an RS3 from the front.
Yeah.
A lot of people have asked me, is it an RS3? But the dead giveaway to somebody that knows is the wheels. Yeah. They're obviously S3 standard wheels. So that's to give. I would know straight away that that's only an S3, but it does look like an RS3 from the front. Yeah.
And you had also you had it advertised privately. You had sold it. Somebody just sort of didn't turn up to buy it.
No, I've not. I've only put it advertised it like about 3 or 4 days ago. Yeah. I've had a lot of interest in it. Yeah.
But I think somebody must have been mad not to buy this, not to snap this up. I just don't get this.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But this day and age, a lot of people don't. They want to finance cars, you know. Yeah. To find somebody that not a lot of people can get personal loans. Yeah. You know, obviously I don't know the reasons, but a lot of people struggle to get personal loans or gather this amount of money to go and buy as a private sale. So it's a lot easier for people to walk into a dealership and get finance. So I think that's one of the reasons why. Like I say, it's been for sale 3 or 4 days, and I've had plenty of offers on the car. So I think it would sell privately.
What do you think something like this would retail for? I mean, what the exhaust system alone, I saw the invoice was $2.5 grand just supplied. But it's not.
The brake kit's $2.5 grand as well. Sorry. The brake kit on it's $2.5 grand as well.
So that's what.
And the brakes it's not very old at all. So it's got you know the brake discs are very good.
And then it's a stage 3 remap.
Stage 3, tuned. Yeah. I mean, at the time I bought this, about a month or two after, there was one very similar. It was the same age. I think it'd done a few thousand miles more, and it was advertised for just over 30 grand on eBay from a dealer.
God.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what it would retail at myself, but I think I don't want to put a price on your you know what you're going to sell it for, but it's certainly worth a lot of money, because bog standard they're going for like
24, 25.
Yeah, they're going for like up to 25,000, and that's a standard one. So someone looking for a tuned one with the lower mileage that it is, you know, are going to pay the premium. Because if you bought a standard one and spent this all and got it to this, like to get it to this spec, you're talking of it's going to cost you in excess of 30, 35, 40,000. It's at about 10 to 15,000 pounds spent on it.
And I mean, what I loved about you, if we had more time, I would have done a video with you, is how you treat your cars is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the fact, definitely. You know, you sat in the RS3, you press the button, wait for the car to lighten up, etc. don't push the car until the oil temperature is up to, you know,
mechanical sympathy.
yeah.
You got to have it if you want things to last and you want to preserve things, and you know, you got to be like that. It makes me cringe when people get in cars and rev them from cold, and you know, you got to wait till all your temperatures are warmed up. Like I use it as a guide because it's got an oil temperature gauge on the standy Audi dash on this, so I always let the oil temperature get up to about 80 degrees before any spirited driving. I wouldn't never ever put my foot down, you know, on a cold engine or anything. So,
and in terms of the rest of the standard spec, it had the flat bottom steering wheel.
Yeah, the same, exactly the same
DSG
steering wheel as the RS3.
Yeah, the DSG 7-speed.
7-speed facelifted gearbox.
Yeah.
This is the better gearbox.
And then you've got the Alcantara leather interior.
Alcantara leather / leather interior, which is very nice. Heated seats, sat nav, cruise control.
Wow.
What else has it got?
What a spec.
Yeah, it's got a huge spec on it.
Well, if you are looking for an S3 that is crazy,
Yeah.
this is phenomenal. We have one here.
And it's still only very low mileage at 29,000.
Yeah.
It's just about to clock over 30,000. It's still very, very low mileage compared to what else is on the market. So
Yeah,
it's a good car.
incredible.
Right, so on here, on here, you've got a little tiny little light interior light there, like LED light type thing, and MRC, when they done the installation, put it there. So I think it works when you switch the car, and it just like flashes to let you know the methanol's working and it's active and it's, you know, running. But that won't come on if you're just driving normally. That won't come on. It's mapped in and set up, so when you put your foot down over 10 psi boost, then the methanol comes in, and that'll flash blue. When the tank's running low, that keeps flashing to let you know that it's got a sensor in the tank to let you know to fill the methanol.
Phenomenal.
So basically, you can't, and if you know you can't run it out of methanol, whatever, that'll tell you.
I mean,
you can see visually in the tank anyway that
thank you. Yeah, you can.
You can see the.
And
the
thank you for explaining these two.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
the
booster
AEM
gauge,
boost gauge.
and this tells you everything from
mounted on the vents, and that is an AEM X gauge, I think they're called. So that basically tells you everything in the car, like battery voltage, you know, lambda reading, air and fuel ratio mix. It tells you pretty much everything you need to know. So if there's a problem, which there won't be.
And this is basically at the back, the methanol tank. This is obviously in case of just a fire or hazard.
Yeah, that I think the previous owner told me he'd done that just more for show, sort of thing. It's more of like a show feature. And with the Bath Motorsport rear strut brace, again, I think that's more for looks. Yeah. Because you're not going to be doing any track driving in it. I mean, you could take it, it'd be an excellent track car, but that's more for show, I think, as well. But that is obviously a rear strut brace to stiffen up the rear of the car. And
you bought this at 10,000 miles, isn't it?
No, the previous owner bought it at 11,000 miles.
And you had it for how long?
I've had it for 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
What was the mileage on it when you got it?
26.
26.
So I've not done a lot in it at all.
Yeah.
And
3,000 miles.
There's nothing wrong with the car. Why I want to sell it. It's just the fact that I've always wanted an RS3. Yeah. And after getting in one of these, it's made me want an RS3 even more. So.
Yeah. No, I completely understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you for that.
Really.
Honestly, thank you very much.
No worries.
Really appreciate your time.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Visually. So now onto the test drive bit. Visually, this, I wouldn't say looks like a standard Audi S3, yet I wanted to, due to the cosmetic changes on the front and on the rear. You know, you've got the Milltek exhaust system, the very aggressive diffuser, and then obviously the RS3 grille. But cosmetically, this is where this car comes completely alive. But before I drive it crazy, on standard settings, in the comfort settings, drives like an Audi S3. Pulls really well, handles extremely well. It's got that extra bit of punch. You know, there's nothing gruntier about it. But let's put it in dynamic now. Not sure if you can hear this. I mean this sarcastically. sounds and feels unposed. I've never driven anything like this. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. Trust me, I've driven up to the 911 GT3 RSs, the 991s. With the 520 bhp and the 620 Newton meters of torque, just takes this to a whole different level. Let's just give it one more go here. Nice open road. What a car this is, honestly. Just phenomenal, and I'm sure the smile on my face says it all. I don't think there's another one like this in the UK available for sale, and to put a value on something like this is extremely difficult. Just the standard retail price with the spec this has, you know, from factory, this would currently you know, be retailed at about £25,000, but with all the modifications that's been done to it aesthetically and mechanically, I mean, this should really be somewhere in the mid-30s. This is where these should be priced at. Had a great time driving this, and again, what the lovely thing about it is, let's put it back to comfort. I'm actually putting my foot down, driving as usual. I mean, you're just cruising along. Earlier, the customer that traded this in, he said to me he was getting 40 miles per gallon out of it. So it doesn't feel any different to a standard Audi S3. But as I said, visually looks like an RS3. Mechanically, because of the modifications, it is not an RS3, but it's better depending on, you know, what you would like out of your car. I think I had a time of my life in this, so thank you very much for tuning to watch this video. Don't forget to press subscribe, and what a great load of fun this has been. Traction control off. That wheel spin, isn't it?
That was the turbo.
Oh, that was the turbo?
Yeah.
Through the tunnel.